Are we filming? Yes, we are. So welcome to another video. This is a review. This is a review of the MeePlus Slim Pads in, drumroll please, if I can get it out, in A5 size. And I've been looking forward to sharing this with you for a couple of weeks now. Last week I reviewed the Mini Reporter, which was the smallest in their range, at least for the moment. And this is the largest one. They don't do an A4. So A5, this is in Pueblo leather, which is Italian leather. And I think I need to do a sniff test to start with. That's fantastic. That is, I mean, I don't want to wax lyrical about it, but it smells absolutely fantastic. So that's good. That's good. I've had experience with at least with MeePlus Pueblo leather before, which is really nice. It's my favourite, but also bridal leather, which is a little bit stiffer and comes from England. But this is Pueblo leather from Italy. This particular style of leather is only lightly sanded, so it's specifically designed to retain the sort of natural marks of the leather. So you will not find it perfect. This has one or two marks. I'm just using the light of the studio light to reflect this. So there's a mark here, and it's just a slight variation, and this is all part of the charm. I like it like this. I like the fact that it is not a uniform finish. But having said that, it is something that it feels rough and yet smooth at the same time. It's very, very hard to describe and show on a video, even if you can see it. But what I can say is this is definitely smooth enough not to require a dashboard. If you're writing and you've got your pages here and you turn over the first page like this, let's just do that, shall we? Let's just grab a piece of paper and see. So you can write on this, no problem at all. So you do not need to, technically you don't need a dashboard. But it is smooth enough to not require a dashboard. So I'm repeating myself there, but it's because I'm so enthusiastic about sharing this with you. I think we need to start with the rings. These are Krauss rings. The only model that doesn't use Krauss rings is the Mini Reporter, because Krauss do not make rings in that size. But all the other binders in their range use Krauss rings, and I won't open and shut these incessantly because it really mucks up the microphone settings. But what I can say is that these are just as good as any other Krauss rings I've come across. Let's just check them again, because I checked these a few days ago when I opened it just to have an initial look, and they're fine. It's very, very positive. This is fine engineering, so precision engineering, and I don't want to go too much on Krauss rings, because I'm acutely aware that some manufacturers don't use Krauss rings, and their rings are probably going to work just as nicely as these and just last just as long. But I can say from experience, owning perhaps out of my collection of 200 ring binders, probably about 20 of those have Krauss rings, and I've never had a problem with Krauss rings. However, with other manufacturers of rings, I have had lots of trouble. So if you're going to be splashing the cash for something that is, arguably a premium product, then I would say if I was a manufacturer, I would use Krauss rings too, because I'd want my customers to have the very best. And these are arguably the very, very best. Now, these are gold. You can have either silver and gold rings, and the spine you can have. This is a controversial, in a nice way, a controversial topic. But this spine is not, this style is not unique to MeePlus, because as we know, let's show you a plotter here. So this is a plotter in personal size or Bible size. It is very, very similar. This is Pueblo leather as well. This is the spine. I believe these spines are brass. They're made of brass. And certainly with MeePlus, you can have a gold spine or a natural brass spine, which will develop a patina as it ages, and also a stainless steel spine. But I have no personal preference here, but I think they look good. And I'll just mention a couple of things here. One is, as you know, I've been critical of plotters because the customer is left to either put up with the ends being unfinished, and so they're sharp. And in my case, what I do is I just get a file and you can see I've smoothed them off, so they're nice and smooth now. But these ones are even smoother because they've actually been done by MeePlus. So that is a selling feature, arguably a unique selling feature of the MeePlus brand. And they even on their website they point out that what they do is to remove this sort of natural sharpness. They do grind a natural curve onto the ends here, which pleases me very much. I think that's attention to detail. Having said that, I would not put this on my Georgian dining table because it's metal, and I wouldn't really want to. I wouldn't want to have metal to Georgian table contacts. But there's no real sharp edge here. It's that the bar stock has a natural. This isn't sharp along here. So it's one of those things where you would have to be careful. Just put a piece of paper down, or leather, or a tablecloth, or whatever. But just be mindful of that. Whether it's MeePlus or whether it's any other manufacturer, you've got a piece of metal here. One thing that I'm very, very pleased about with this model is the fact that when you look along, when you put your eye here and look along, this is a considerable length to be absolutely perfectly straight. But I'm pleased to report this one is absolutely is as straight as a die, whereas previous ones, both from Plotter and MeePlus, have a natural curve. So this is a Plotter. It has almost imperceptible. You can't see it unless you look along. You align it with your eye, but this Plotter has a slight curve to it, a convex curve, and this Plotter also has a natural curve, and indeed this MeePlus also has a natural curve. Now, when I reached out to MeePlus about this, I reached out to Plotter, and I didn't get any response at all. But I reached out to MeePlus about this, and they said yes, there is sometimes you can see a curve. They didn't suggest to me that I straighten it by putting some pressure there, but I'm sure you can. But they pointed out that brass is a fairly soft metal, and suggested that if I was in any way concerned about that, then I go for the stainless steel version next time, which is stronger and resists bending perhaps a little bit more. But all these binders, both the two plotters here and this MeePlus, the slight curve is hardly noticeable and doesn't affect the operation of the binder in any way. So I'm very, very pleased with that. But I just thought I'd mention that this particular one is perfectly straight, and I don't know whether that's because they have specifically selected one that has a very, very straight edge, because I'm a reviewer. As with any product sent to a reviewer for review purposes, the company will want to check and double check that they're sending something that's absolutely perfect. So that may be the case. It may be the case that I've got one that's extra straight. But to be honest, even if this was slightly curved, I wouldn't worry, because it doesn't affect the operation. I think it's just symptomatic of this brass bar stock that inevitably it's going to have maybe a bend slightly. But I'm very, very pleased with this one. Perfect so far. We need to talk about flatability, of course, because that is the thing that concerns me most, and it is the reason why I started this channel, because the flatability was so important in my eyes. But as you can see, the flatability here is perfect, and also the shuttability. Now, it's a phrase coined by one of my subscribers, the ability of a binder to shut, and this has got good shuttability. I know that shuttability and flatability are a part of the same thing, if you like, but this has got good flatability, good shuttability, and as you can see, it lays perfectly flat. So with an A5 model, that is not always the case. There are more difficulties. Some manufacturers face big flatability problems, as we know. Maybe they're not aware of it, or maybe they're well aware of it, but they just choose not to do it because, well, it's down to them. But MeePlus on their website actually recognize that flatability is something that a lot of potential customers are concerned about, and they point out not just that flatability is something they're aware of, and they strive to have good flatability. This is perfect. You cannot get more perfect than this binder. But they also show how they take steps to do that, because leather is sort of fairly stiff in this format, not perfectly stiff, but it is fairly stiff. So they excuse me, they perform a process called skiving, where before the rings are installed in this leather piece, they skive the leather, which is basically making this section where the spine is, they make it substantially less in thickness. They reduce the thickness of the leather, thus aiding a natural bend. It's difficult to show it. But hopefully you can see that here is much, much thinner than here or here. So full marks to MeePlus for doing that. I think since MeePlus have come onto the scene, I think they've been going at the time of recording for about 3 years now. They have made this issue of flatability. They've increased people's awareness of it. Plotter have done the same. We're just coming up to the 8th year of the Plotter's existence this month, and they do a similar thing. So when you look at this binder compared to, have I got anything here? Let me see. So this Plotter is almost identical to the MeePlus. So very, very similar. Very, very similar indeed. The only difference, well, there are some differences, particularly with the edge. The edge is better finished. I'm just going to have a look at the plotter. Okay, so when you compare the way the edge is sort of finished, the MeePlus it has a sort of smoother, more rounded, burnished edge, if you like, whereas the plotter edge is kind of unfinished. It's a personal taste. Some people perhaps might prefer the unfinished edge compared to the edge of the MeePlus. In my opinion, and I shouldn't really say this because this is an objective review, but I actually prefer the MeePlus. Whatever has happened here, clearly there is an extra process and that costs time and money to do this, but they have taken the decision to finish this edge, and it is lovely. I mean, it is absolutely lovely to feel. So they get full marks from me. So this is the binder. What I would say is, if you're curious about measurements, I can say certainly with A5 size, the measurements of the MeePlus and the filofax A5 and the plotter A5, they're all the same. They all take identical sizes of paper. This is the ring spacings here are the standard A5 spacing that you will see with both plotter and filofax. Some A5 binders have the same rings as a personal size binder, which some people would prefer, but at the end of the day, you pay your money and takes choice. This is the more common ring arrangement, so it is specifically for A5, which is different to personal, but this is very much a standardized ring arrangements with other manufacturers. One thing I would say, well, I'm saying a lot really, but I am obviously enthusiastic about MeePlus products because they're so good. But unlike plotter, who only give you the option of one ring size, which is 11 millimeters. With plotter, you have, MeePlus, in A5 size, you have two choices. You can have the smaller rings, which are 11 millimeters, or these, which are 16. I was given a choice of leathers and colours and rings, etc. I chose 16 millimeter rings. Personally, for me, 16 millimeters is a really nice sweet spot. And I got into the 16 millimeter rings when I bought a filofax Heritage a couple of years ago. Although it depends on what part of the filofax website as to what the actual ring size is. They work out at 17 roughly, but I really, really like this format of a binder that has no zips and straps and pen loops or anything else, just a straightforward binder, but with these 16 or 17 millimeter rings. I don't know what the popularity split is, but I suspect that MeePlus may sell more A5 binders with the 16 millimeter rings as opposed to the 11 millimeter rings, but it's personal preference. But they're stealing a march on plotter, because the 11 millimeter ring philosophy is across the entire board of products from plotter, including the A5 model, which also is the largest one they do. But with MeePlus, you get a choice. As far as the measurements are concerned, if you go to the MeePlus website. I'll leave a link in the description. You will see that they're very, very good at providing all sorts of measurements so that you can make an informed choice, so you know exactly what you want. There is a slight controversy about paper size, but I'll get on to that when I talk about the paper, because we are going to do some ink and paper tests towards the end of this video, because I thought we'll just have everything in one big video. I have to be careful with MeePlus, because if I'm not careful, the quality is so good that I can run away with waxing lyrical about these binders, because they're really good. Did I say they were really good? Yes, I did. But I'm trying to be objective, because there's just so much to talk about, and I want to. I don't make any apologies for the fact that this video is a long one, but if it is too long, please pause it, make a coffee, and then buckle up again and carry on, because we have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. Anyway, that is the basic binder. It's just very, 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 very tactile to use. It smells great. The Krauss ring mechanism gives me confidence that it will last a long time. I mean, to be honest, with this kind of leather, I fully expect it to still be around long after I've gone. Maybe it will, one of my great grandchildren in 50 years' time will be examining this, taking it off the shelf, and look, my great grandfather made a video here, and they'll hear me talking about it, and they'll agree that yes, this is a very, very good product. So well done, great grandfather, for pointing that out. But it is just a nice thing. It is just a nice thing, and I love these spines. Even though the one drawback, I'm not okay. I'm okay with this table, because this is a sort of 1890, this table, but it's got some ink stains, and it's all part of the charm. But I wouldn't use it on the Georgian dining table, that's for sure. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the accessories. So the first accessory is this. Now, this is a ring protector, if you like. You know how these go. They slip onto the rings, and then they effectively prevent, or at least go some way to prevent, the marks that the rings make on the leather. Personally, although I appreciate some people don't like those marks, I don't use a ring protector, because I like the look of those marks. You can see with this plotter, which is the same leather, Pueblo leather, you can see that the marks for the rings are developing nicely, and some people don't like that. I love it, because I see it as a sign of work accomplished. And let's have a look at the MeePlus. Again, this is Pueblo leather, but in olive, and you can see that I'm using this every day. I'm doing a long-term road test with this. It's actually my diary. I've decided to test this by turning it into my diary, and you can see that the marks are showing through. On the back side, again, those marks are showing through. It's a personal preference. However, MeePlus give you the choice. You can either use a ring protector like this or not, and I believe these come actually with the binder, unless I'm corrected on that. I believe they're supplied actually as part of the package deal, if you like. One thing that is an extra is this dashboard with the securing band and the pen loop. Now, I like these. I like this design a lot, and I'll tell you why. But let's move the actual binder out the way for a moment. So, what do I like about this? Well, I like the fact that you can obviously write on this. With my Filofax Heritage, it came with something different. It came with a leather dashboard that is difficult to write on, but this being used as a dashboard, it's nice and smooth. And the pen loop actually is something that I've spoken about before, but let's just give you a quick demo. So this is a Kaweco Lilliput. It's one of the smallest pens I have. It's roughly the same width as a Filofax ballpoint pen. This design is a really good design for different sizes of pen. So this is a very thin one. This is a TWSBI Go, which is one of the fattest pens I own, and you can see that even though this is oh, I've got hiccups there. Even though it's brand new, the actual design of this pen loop and its length lends itself to gripping pens of virtually any diameter, and it's just a good design. I don't know why Filofax don't offer this sort of thing, but at the end of the day, it's what I call a Marmite product. Some people don't like it, other people do, and some people do not like the elastic bands. They prefer a traditional excuse me, a leather securing strap, for instance. Oh, I'm dropping everything here. So this is a Filofax A5 Kendall, and this is a traditional arrangement where you've got a securing strap and pen loops. But I actually think that this is a really good design, and it's replaceable. So if you have a traditional binder with pen loops and fastener, it's not really possible to replace those. So it might be possible to repair, but you're stuck with that design, and particularly you're stuck with the size of the pen loop, unless it is something like and this is something that Filofax do as well. Other companies do it. This is a Vanderspec, and you can see on here that underneath the leather is a piece of elastic, but elastic tends to sag. Elastic tends to sag eventually. So what would you do? Well, with this elastic, I've actually been testing it on. I've been using every day one of these MeePlus elastic bands for a few months now, and there's no sign of let me get this right, deterioration. The elastic they've used appears to be excellent quality, and so this is going to last quite some time. It might last several years. But the beauty of this design is that if the elastic does start snagging, or you decide that you want a narrower pen loop, they do two sizes. This is the larger size, and they also do a narrower size that's roughly similar to the standard Filofax size. But the thing is, because it's so long, and because it has some grip, you can use, well, let's try a Filofax pen. So here we go, Filofax pen. Does it work? Perfect. I think the design is inspired. It's really good. I mean, MeePlus are not the only company to do this sign, but this plastic and leather combination, I think, ticks all the boxes. Very pleased with that. I never thought in a million years that I would spend so long talking about a piece of plastic and a piece of leather and a piece of elastic band here, but we are where we are on these things. But that is a really good design. So overall, I'm very impressed, especially since if you if you look at this, and this is subjective, but this is the A5 binder from MeePlus, and this is a zipped Metropole A5 from Filofaxes. Now, I'm not criticising the design, but what I'm illustrating is that this minimalist type of binder can be much smaller in terms of external dimensions than some other A5 binders. I mean, this is enormous. And so if you are looking for something that's sort of fairly minimalist, then this might be the way to go. And they're not obviously they're not the only company that make binders that are minimalist like this, but I really like it. I really like this. There's the leather and the quality of the rings, and also the fact you get a choice of rings. So I chose 16 millimeters. So yes, I mean, it's a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing. And although I'm reviewing this, and I'm not, my main two sizes are mini size, the 5 rings, and personal size. I can definitely see a number of uses to which this binder can be put, and so I will be reporting back on this over the coming months and let you all know how I'm getting on. This will not be just stuck in my collection on my shelf. I'm actually going to be using this in a long-term test, so you'll see this binder in future. It's going to make a reappearance in another video or 2 or 3 as time progresses. But overall, I'm very pleased. As far as the good and the bad and the ugly, well, there's no bad and there's no ugly. It is as perfect as a binder could possibly be, and I'm very pleased with it. So I hope you've all got your tea or your coffee ready, because I am going to talk about paper now. Now, there's some good, some very good. There's a tiny bit of bad, and there's no ugly. So I think we need to, let's start with the thing that most excites me. So this paper is, it's a very thin paper indeed. Now, I love thin paper, because why do I like thin paper? It's because you can get more of it in your ring binder. Now, this is referred to on the MeePlus website as both 52 GSM and 50 GSM. But it is very thin. That I like 50 GSM paper. I use it in mini size quite a lot, and I also use it. Let's just find a page that hasn't been written on yet. So this is my MeePlus personal size, and I use this wonderful Clairefontaine 50 GSM paper. It's very good value here in the UK, but if you're looking at quality paper, this pales into comparison to the MeePlus paper. The MeePlus paper has some very special qualities, and possibly, notwithstanding the binder itself is of excellent quality, the thing that has hit me more than anything else is this paper. So the website describes this, the manufacturing process to make this 50 GSM paper as very similar to the process used to make Tomo River paper. It has some resin in it that's added to the mix, and also it's coated, so manufactured with some added resin and a coating to the paper, and they've come up with this. I think we need to do a pen test we need to do a pen test to explain why I am so excited about this particular paper. So I've got a range of pens here. I just picked a range of pens to sort of illustrate my pen test. We've got a TWSBI Go with some Noodler's ink, and this is a broad nib, so this is an extreme test. And then a medium nib, I've chosen the Lilliput from Kaweco, and that has got a Kaweco ink cartridge. I'm not a fan of the Kaweco ink because it's not very good if the paper gets wet. The Noodler's ink is fantastic. It permanently bonds to the paper chemically, and so it doesn't run. We've got a fine nib with some Noodler's blue anti-feather. We're using a Pilot G2. I use a lot of these. I'm trying to cut down because of the plastic waste. But this has a broad. This is the one that has the broad 1mm tip that I'm so fond of, and then a Pilot V7 that I've been using these for nearly 40 years now, and then finally a filofaxes barley ballpoint. But let me show you the results, because they're really, really surprising. So let's start off with some ARC paper, which is 100 GSM, and it is a coated paper, very smooth. But let me show you this. So we've got these pens. Let me zoom in. So let's turn it over. So we have got, in keeping with many papers, we have a certain amount of bleed through from the broad nib here with the Noodler's ink. There's a little bit of shadow for the other inks. Okay, so pretty good. But let's see where else we go with this. So this is the paper I use more than anything else. This is the Clairefontaine 50 GSM paper I use regularly. And so, as you can see, it's not very well controlled, but that's okay, because I tend to use this as a working tool for my diary, and that I'm not using this to preserve things for posterity. Shall we see if we can zoom a little bit closer? Yes, we can. So you can see that if I just go back, now I know that I can zoom in. Okay, so you can see some shadow. There's a tiny bit of, this is just a mark on the paper that was there before. This is just, the medium nib is just starting to show through, but the ARC paper doesn't really control the bleed through very, very well, and neither does the Clairefontaine. But it is a nice smooth paper, very, very cheap, at least here in the UK. But you can see, and this is a crucial thing, remember that this is the same thickness as the MeePlus paper. So just have a look at this. So pretty poor with the shadow, and not very good at all with the bleed through. Let's have a look at something else. This is a pucker pad, cost 60p. It's a Jota notebook from my local supermarket, and I'm always impressed by the paper here. So we're doing the same format, and if we turn it over, you can see that shadow. This is 80 GSM, by the way. The shadow is very well controlled, but again, it fails the bleed through test, and this is a harsh test. Broad nib with Noodler's ink, but nevertheless, I'm quite impressed with that. And then finally, no, not finally, we have got this is as you can see, October 25. So I'm no longer using this diary, but you can see this paper is marketed as fountain pen friendly, and it is, to be honest, it's much improved from previous years, but it is manufactured and marketed as ink fountain pen friendly paper. So let's just turn the page and have a look at that. Just make sure that we can do it. Yes, we're 26, we're 728. Yes, so we haven't turned over the 2 pages. So as we can see, there is, I believe this is about 80 GSM. But you can see that the shadow is pretty poor and it fails the bleed through test. So with a medium nib, it's kind of okay. It's just threatening here and there to start bleed through. So it's not, it's improved, but it's not fountain pen friendly. It's not really fountain pen friendly, but I guess it is in a little way. And then we come to this paper I'm talking about. This is the MeePlus paper. So again, I've written this down, and I'm just going to turn it over and show you, because I think this is amazing. So there's not much you can do by virtue of the fact that this is really thin paper, but look at this. No bleed through at all. And this pen, broad nib, Noodler's ink, it is arguably just about the toughest test there is, or at least there is in my fountain pen collection that has about 200 fountain pens. Isn't that fantastic? So I am not cognizant with the actual manufacturing processes, but what I can say is this is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So yeah, it's certainly a premium paper. And if you look at if you compare this to Tomo River paper from different suppliers, last night I had a quick look at prices. I'm not going to quote prices on the video because it becomes out of date very, very quickly, and people might be looking at this in 10 years time. But what I can say is that with some confidence, this paper from MeePlus, which is supplied at least at the time of recording in sheets of 100, packs of 100 sheets, the price is very, very well. I couldn't find anything cheaper, and they have at the moment a free shipping if you spend over $50, and they also, something that I haven't really mentioned here, but they have a policy where when you buy a binder or other products, the duty is already paid, and duty is very, very important because, as we know, if you buy from a company in another country, and it's shipped, and then you end up with the shipping costs, and then the duty, and then the handling fees, the admin fees for the carrier will inevitably charge. You know, it can be a lot more, but at least as I record this, the MeePlus are very clear about this. $50 more and you get free shipping, and then the price listed on the website is free of it's all the duties and admin fees are prepaid, so it actually works out quite cheaper than buying from other suppliers. So very surprised that the cost was so good. I've never bought any paper from abroad, but I'm actually quite tempted to get some packs of this with my own money, because it's actually it feels good. It feels good. But anyway, I think we should move on to other paper products. But yeah, they call it lightweight paper. It's 50 GSM or 52 GSM. It comes highly recommended. So I'm just have a look at this again. Isn't that fantastic? Is that not fantastic? Are you not entertained? Love it. Absolutely love it. And then we have some straight paper. And by the way, each time I look at the MeePlus website, they seem to have more and more products, particularly paper products. And so the actual range is surprisingly comprehensive, but we'll get on to the pre-printed inserts in a minute. But from a point of view of this paper, so this is just lined paper. I've done another ink test. So here we are. This paper is 120 GSM. So really thick. So it's interesting that you get a choice. You can get this really thick paper or the lightweight paper, something that I think maybe other manufacturers should consider doing. But it is interesting and very pleasing that you actually get a choice. Maybe in the future you'll get more than two choices, but right as it stands, you can buy the lightweight paper, 50 GSM, or this paper, which is 120 GSM. And if we turn it over, we can see that it doesn't perform as well as the light paper. Now, there is a natural tendency for there to be less shadow with thicker paper, but let me just remind you here. So these are the two sheets. So this is the 120 GSM, and this is the 50 GSM, and you can see that although there's no bleed through with this paper that's similar to Tomoe River paper, there is this show through. But there's hardly any at all with the MeePlus 120 GSM paper. So I would say, as an example here, the second one down, which is a medium nib, and this is a fine nib. The only one where there is some problem is the really harsh test. So if you were, for instance, wanting some paper to use as a journal, and you were just using a medium nib fountain pen, well, I would go for this. But this fantastic. I mean, it just goes to show how well controlled the bleed through is on this paper. So, a couple of interesting products that allows you to sort of choose what you want, really. There is a slight bad, and it's very minor, but you know that I pull no punches. I am the harshest critic, even though MeePlus passed with flying colours. I am a harsh critic, and I expect that viewers want me to be a harsh critic. And this is the one thing that I am not happy about, and that is, although the paper is similar, it is different in the width. So I would say if you're looking to buy paper, check the measurements. It may be the case that MeePlus offer more than one width. Who knows? But they sent me these samples, and the sample widths are different. And so that's my only criticism. But it might be that it's just a representative sample, and they do more than one width. But check, just check. That's what I would say. They also do this grid paper, and that when you look at the website, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing now in terms of paper. They're really gearing up. So this is some grid paper. I'm not going to do a pen test, but this feels like it is the 120 GSM paper, but it's worth checking on the website. Let me just check to see whether this is okay. So this grid paper is the same as the lined paper in width. So this extra thin 50 GSM paper seems to be the statistical outlier here, but I'm pretty confident that is the same paper. And then we get to these inserts, and they have a lot of inserts. I need to go wide here because this is a fold out. This is a yearly plan sheet. So on the back we've got the second half of the year. So this is really nice. I would use this myself. I would definitely use this myself, albeit in personal size, because that's my size. So they have a range of these, from yearly planner, monthly planner, weekly planner, I believe. So have a look at their website, because they seem to be very, very geared up to these pull-out planners, which I really like that. Plus the single sheets covering. It looks like a week on 2 pages and a page per day. It's very, very similar to the sort of range that Filofax would offer, but more so. I think they've got to the point now where what they're offering is more comprehensive than Filofax, who are I guess the market leaders for inserts. So fair play to MeePlus for expanding their range. What have we got here? So this is a monthly planner on is this a single page? Yes, it is, with some graph paper on the back. This is just a representative sample of what they're offering, but it is very interesting. One thing that is something that I think they should consider doing when you order these packs. They come in packs of these come in packs, and would you want to buy a pack of yearly planners stretching decades into the future? That's an interesting concept that I don't subscribe to. I think maybe in the future, and if Laura from MeePlus is watching this, and I know she does, maybe what might be attractive is a mixed pack. So you get one or two yearly planners plus a pack of 12 or 24 monthly planners, this sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure it's developing. I'm pretty sure they're really on the case here with looking at what people want. But I do like these. And the other thing is they're very, very minimalistic and clean looking. So there's no advertising here. There's no marketing blurb. It is just very, very straightforward. And I like them. I like the clean design. Finally, we have these daily planners. So again, just a representative sample of the range that is quite large. I do like this sort of thing where you mark off you put a circle round the day of the week and put the date. So what have we got here? We've got a schedule here from 6 o'clock in the morning to midnight, which is fair enough, and then some priorities. and a to-do list and some notes. Not sure what these are, but it is what it is. I personally, I'm not a fan of a planner that explains that. I don't think there's any need to put daily planner, because this is something that if you're a planner, if you're a paper-based planner, there's no need to have this and say, oh look, I didn't realize it was a planner, but at least I now know that it is a planner because it says it's planner. And I wasn't sure whether it's daily, weekly or monthly, but I'm reassured that it's daily because it says daily. And I'm being a little bit facetious there, and I'm sure Laura will forgive me, but I don't think there's any need to have daily planner written there. What I would do is, personally, I would extend this grid. Potentially, you could have it looks like 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You could extend the grid higher to cover those people that start their work earlier than 6 o'clock in the morning. So you could just extend it maybe without having planner written on there. But I'm just being really pedantic there. It's not a major issue. One thing that I would say that this has caught me by surprise. I've been using MeePlus binders for some time now. But I wasn't really aware of their growing range of pre-printed inserts. But I really like them. Especially because, as they say on their website, they use this thicker size. I believe this is 120 GSM. Using the thicker paper means that when you have something like this, which is going to be used for, shall we say, a year in your binder, there's going to be a lot of opening and shutting, and so there's some extra strain on these holes, and so, having the 120 GSM paper probably lends itself to that. So, in conclusion, the spectacular standout surprise to me is this thin paper that has such excellent. It's just so good. It's just so good. That was something I was not expecting. Of course, I was expecting this binder to be superb, and I am not disappointed. It's just perfect in every way. There will be some people, of course, who prefer a binder like this filofax one, where you've got lots of pockets and zips, so you can have everything in one place, and bigger rings. I totally get that. But if you are a kind of minimalist sort of person, and you're looking at, I'm not going to suggest how people use this, but certainly from a point of view of how I'm going to use it, I'm going to try one or two things in this and then report back. I think that's probably the best thing, rather than speculate about how I am going to use it. But the one thing is certain: it is so nice, it's such good quality, and it imbues in me such a feel-good factor. I think that's the thing. When you hold this in your hands, when you sniff it, it just imbues in me a fantastic feeling that is commensurate with getting work done. I mean, it's just a lovely thing. So my overall conclusion is that as far as the good, the bad, and the ugly is concerned, there's no ugly, definitely no ugly. There's no bads. The only one thing that slightly took me back was the fact that this paper is slightly wider and ever so slightly taller than the other paper in the range. I don't know why that is the case, but we are where we are. Would I buy one of these? And that's the tricky thing. It's all very well for a reviewer to say, isn't something wonderful? Would I buy one of these? Yes, I would, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because if you look at prices, and I'm going to compare the price in dollars. If you compare the price of a plotter in this form, Pueblo leather, and there isn't a direct comparison in the filofax range, but if you take the filofax Heritage, so this is the filofax Heritage in personal size, but they also make one of these in A5 size, so it's very, very similar, other than the fact that they use the rings aren't quite as good. Can you hear that? A bit of misalignment there. That one's all right, that one's all right, that one's all right, and that one's slightly rough, and there were one or two gaps when I got it, so it's not ideal, but it is one of my favourite filofax binders, that's for sure. But the thing that lets it down is the ring quality. But who knows? But interestingly, when you go to the Filofax USA website and look at the price of one of these compared to the price of the MeePlus, and then also the price of the equivalent plotter in dollars on the Plotter USA website, the cheapest one, and I don't want to actual quote prices because people may be looking at this in 10 years time, and so the prices will be completely out of date. But what I can say is, let's put the plotter there. Just pretend that is an A5 plotter and this is an A5 Heritage. The difference in prices can be compared, obviously, and I can say that as I record this, not only has the MeePlus got the highest spec, courtesy of the fact that there's extra processing of the sharp edges which are smoothed off, and also there's extra finishing, edge burning or edge burnishing, as I'll say, to the edges are finished, whereas the plotter is just left rough. Which one is the cheapest? The cheapest one is the MeePlus by a country mile. The second cheapest is the A5 plotter, and bizarrely, and I do think this is bizarre because of the quality of the materials used, the cheaper rings and this leather, which is okay, but it's not Pueblo leather. It's not a clearly defined leather. I mean, Filofax don't even say what this is. They seem to be fairly quiet about that. They don't proudly proclaim where their leather comes from. So we just don't know. But out of the three, the A5 plotter, the A5 Filofax Heritage, and the A5 MeePlus, the MeePlus is the cheapest, and the Filofax Heritage is the most expensive by a considerable margin. So I'll end that thought with you that it's definitely worth looking around if you are interested in this kind of minimalist binder. And as a consumer, and especially since I know that even though this has been delivered to me from Hong Kong, so the other side of the world, if I bought this with my own money, Because it was more than $50, then the shipping would have been included, and there would have been no duty or VAT or customs fees for me to pay. So I would be confident in buying this because of the actual that consideration. So it's free shipping and duty paid, which gives a lot of peace of mind, especially when you don't know how much these fees might be. Certainly I paid a huge amount for my plotter because of customs fees and handling fees all along the way, as it were. But if you consider that this might last 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 years in your own hands, I would say this is one of the bargains of the century. Thanks very much for watching. Until my next video, goodbye.